Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. My name is John.
This is Crystal.
I'm Mark.
I'm Zoe.
We talk about the joys and the challenges of teaching music in the elementary school classroom. We share inspiration, we share struggles, we brainstorm solutions. We would love to have you join us. And we're gathered here in the living room to talk music ed. So, Zoe,
Hi.
it's your turn.
It's my turn.
We've all been going around and telling our stories about how we became music teachers and the beautiful things that we've been building at our schools. And so, Zoe, let's get to know you a little bit today.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for being here. So give us your program notes.
Awesome. Well, my name's Zoe Kumagai. I teach at Rosebank Elementary. That's in Chula Vista. It's a small-ish school, around 650 students. I have been teaching in Chula Vista for 3 and almost 4 years. I want to say 4 years because we're so close to the end.
I know. 5 weeks to go.
That's right.
And then we can officially say it.
My heart just started fluttering.
Did it?
So close.
It's so close. The countdown is on.
I know.
Some of the teachers already have the countdowns on their board.
27th.
No countdown.
I know.
I'm not
do
about
it.
the countdown.
I won't either.
It's fun though. Like
Nope.
if you make it if you make it creative, it's fun.
It just
There are ways to make
is so
creative.
tempting to make it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so close to
For me
the
though,
end.
it's more of a countdown for my concert. That's more scary.
Yeah,
So-
that's where your brain's at.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
almost 4 years here in Chula Vista.
That's right.
And you've been at the same school the whole time.
I've been at 2 schools,
Okay.
Rosebank, and before that I was at Veterans Elementary, and 2 awesome schools, very different. Veterans is a newer school. Rosebank is one of the older ones, and Veterans is, I think, maybe 10-ish years old, and in the newer part of Chula Vista, and much bigger.
Were you at that one full time and then you
I
changed?
was there,
You were?
hired full time.
Okay.
And I had no classroom, so I had the experience
cart.
of carting around. Got so many steps in.
Yeah.
And
I'll bet.
Yeah, well, and actually, like before that, for 4 weeks in the prior school year, so I guess in 2015, I was doing my student teaching very close to Veterans at Wolf Canyon Elementary.
Okay.
The site of our ORF levels for the summer.
Right.
Yeah.
And Lowri Casimiro was my mentor teacher, and I was so lucky.
Yeah, you were.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going to have her on later to tell her story.
Can't wait.
But that's fantastic that you got to learn from her. So how did you, is that how you got into the district then, was you did your student teaching with Lowri?
Yes, so
Okay.
I did that. I was doing a master's program in Los Angeles. It was a Master of Arts in Teaching, and the focus was Sistema. So it's just kind of an interesting program. It's only a year and a half. No, I lied. 10 months. And I got my teaching credential, and towards the end of the program, right before the student teaching, Lauren Shelton came to talk to us, and she basically recruited us and said, if you come down to Chula Vista for your student teaching, we'll find you free housing.
Wow.
And so I said, yes, please.
Wow.
I was living with my parents at the time, so I was like, oh, sure.
Yeah.
So I moved to Chula Vista. I stayed with a wonderful host, Joan Henkelman, and she lives in Chula Vista, and she's a huge supporter of music and opera, and just wonderful.
Wow. So your undergrad was music ed?
No, my undergrad was in double bass performance only, and I did have the thought of wanting to learn about education, and it was a little bit late in the game. I think I was a junior.
Okay.
And they were like, okay, you can stay for another 2 years after you thought you were going to graduate.
And you were like, no thanks.
No, we're not doing that.
So what gave you that thought that made you think that you might want to go into music ed?
So it was the summer after my freshman year. I went to school in Michigan, and I didn't want to come home that summer. I just wanted to stay there. And so I was waitressing and just kind of hanging out and practicing, and then I got an email that was just kind of out of the blue. I didn't know the person. It was like one of the, what do you call it, listserv emails, and it was looking for volunteers. So I emailed back to teach with this group called Detroit Arts Immersion, and it was totally transformative. It was a bunch of Juilliard grads. One of the organizer, Brie O'Mara, was from Detroit, and she wanted to bring some of that training back to her city. So we were at a homeless shelter. We were at a couple different sites, and just working with youth and sharing our art forms, and it was so awesome. So I was like, this is it.
Yeah,
I want to do more.
That's really cool. Did you know that you wanted to do elementary?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not.
When did that come?
Well, so I when I moved back to LA, to do my master's, I was living at home, and my high school was like, hey, you want to come back and do some coaching? So I was doing that, and it was great, and it was nice to work with my teacher and to have some private students and that sort of thing. But I was pretty sure that was not what I wanted to do, was conduct, and so
it just didn't light your fire, huh?
it did not. I mean, I like working with bassists, but being amongst the whole orchestra vibe, and I just it wasn't for me.
Okay. Yeah. And you've done a lot of work too with the San Diego Youth Symphony with Opus Project. So talk about that a little bit. Totally.
So I was really drawn to the mission, and Lauren talked about this when she came to recruit at Lunchy. So I had heard that the mission was to make music education accessible to all of San Diego County, and how that kind of aligned with this idea of El Sistema, the Venezuelan music education movement, and from that mission grew Opus. So I went on, and I mentioned this in your episode, Crystal, how I ran into one of my elementary school teachers. So after Lauren came to visit us, she was like, come see it. You'll get it once you come see it. So my cohort came down to Chula Vista to Kellogg, where they had an Opus site, and that's where Maya was teaching at the time. And how could you not be blown away? I was so blown away by everything that was happening.
When you walked into Opus for the first time, what was it about it that captivated you?
Well, besides seeing my elementary school orchestra director, which was wild, just seeing we've talked about the conservatory versus how did we phrase that?
Or versus conservatory.
Or versus conservatory.
The mindset.
Yeah, I mean, it was inclusive. It was less formal than what I was used to, and I loved that it was at a school, and there were so many just family members engaged. So that was what I ended up writing my papers on when I was in school, was how can this Venezuelan model be applied in a U.S. setting, in a school, partnering with schools. So that really drew me in to Chula Vista. And the point that I really wanted to see played out in real life was does it work? Can it work? So yeah. So let's go back a little bit. What's your first memory of music in schools for you as a kid? Okay. Well, I will say that my mom is very musical. She is a pianist, and so I was super lucky to have that kind of in the background of my life. And then my dad also he won't admit to being a musician, but is definitely a music aficionado, would play just very good music. You mentioned Kind of Blue, I grew up with that too.
Oh, I love that.
Those kind of things just seep in, and it's yeah. So Yeah, I had music from the time I was in kindergarten into school. And now that I know the music teacher at my elementary school, he was my classmate in high school. He's like now the teacher there. I know that they get a little bit less music than what we offer at our schools. It's about like twice a month.
Okay, but that's your first memory.
But it was that general music experience.
Yeah.
And body percussion and xylophones and rounds. We sang Viva la Musica.
Oh,
yeah,
so you
like,
knew that.
I did.
How nice.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
I feel like, that's your education is very different than Mark's, mine, and Crystal's.
And mine, yeah.
Completely different. I was just like very privileged, and like I was asking to play the violin when I was around 3.
Wow.
And I have an older brother, and he was taking flute lessons, and he was playing flute at school when he was in the 4th grade. So I'm 5 years younger. I was 4, and so I was like, well, why don't I have my own instrument? This is not right. And so my mom's like, you're tiny, you can wait. So when I was 5, she gave in, or 4.5, and she's like, okay, let's...
Did you start with the violin?
I started with the violin.
Okay.
I did Suzuki method.
And you're like, this is not big enough. How did you go from violin to double bass?
Yeah, so I played the violin for a good 6-7 years. And then I got to middle school, and my mom was gone. She was gone for like 2 weeks, and so I was at orchestra, and our orchestra director lady was like, we need more basses. I was like, me?
Yeah. That's so exciting.
And she was horrified. My mom was horrified.
Horrified?
Yeah.
Why?
It was just sitting in the living room when she got home. She's like, no, why is this here?
Why is this monstrosity?
Not the most portable instrument.
It's not.
It's not. You should see my wheels, though.
I can only imagine little kid Zoe, like, hauling around that thing.
I mean, pretty similar to me.
Yeah.
Currently hauling around that thing. I haven't really grown since then.
That's really cool, though.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I just made it work, you know.
Well, you own that thing, too. I mean, you just kill it.
I do. I mean, and for me... Like, so my parents are a case of opposites attract. So my dad is a jock. My mom is like a nerd musician. So both of their passions were like, we're doing this. Like, you have no choice. You will be a musician. You will be an athlete. And to me, the bass was like so physical that I could kind of like bring the two together. Yeah, in a way that like, I don't know, like basketball, like I still play basketball occasionally, and I think there is a rhythmic aspect to it, but bass was like, I felt like so strong. And
yeah.
It's definitely a full body instrument there for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think for most people. It's bigger than everybody. Yeah. So Zoe, when you think about music teachers that you've had in the past,
sure,
do you have one who sticks out in a story that you can share? Yes.
So Diana Gannett used to always say in our bass lessons, think with your back. Yeah, because when you're playing the bass, you know, you need to access the big muscles. And she had a way of just like incorporating martial arts and like spirituality, like Zen, like all these things. And when she would say, think with your back, it's like, okay, stop trying to control all the small things, all your small muscles, and just like, you know, yeah.
We all sat up straighter when you said that.
Oh, yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Oh, you have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. When you think with your back. Interesting. Okay. Oh, I might use that.
It's good.
That applies.
It's really good.
That applies to voice.
It does, because like right here, your column and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
That's good. That's good stuff. All right, let's get into development. Let's talk about the work that you've been doing here in your classroom.
Oh my goodness.
As a general music teacher. So let's talk about it.
Let's go.
Did your school have a music? You've had 2 schools now. So
yeah, sure.
Let's go with the one where you were on a cart.
Okay.
Did either school have a music program before you showed up?
As far as I know, at the first school on the cart, there was no music program.
Okay.
Before I was there. And I remember being shocked. I got there on my first day. I was like, okay, where's my room? Oh, you don't have a room.
They didn't tell you.
So,
oh, man.
Well, but I was so eager. You know, it was my first job ever. I was like, yeah, let's do it. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm qualified.
Did you have materials?
I think they had ordered some. There was the package,
The
West
basic
Music.
kit.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to Judy Pine
Shout
for
out
putting
to Judy.
together the best general music
Seriously.
starter pack in our district. She worked with Lauren to put together a starter pack of Orff instruments and scarves and a stretchy band and rhythm sticks. And if a principal got talked into getting that, we were set up
That
well.
is
So
right.
thank you, Judy, at West Music. We love you.
I really
Yes.
remember
So you
the
had
day.
that.
No, I remember the day vividly when the package arrived because a interviewer from an NPR station in LA came to visit that day to interview me.
Wow.
And so I was walking her around the school. She was following me, and there's a photographer, and we walked
Like
into
a music teacher has arrived, like that sort of a deal?
Yeah, kind of.
Wow, interesting.
And we walked into the multi-purpose room, and I'm like, wait, what's that in the boxes? Those are the xylophones. Yeah, so that was a cool day.
That's really neat.
It's funny, actually. The first time I met you, actually, was
Yeah.
that article. And then when we were seeing bits of, this person.
We need to find that article
Oh my
and put it
gosh,
in the show
yeah,
notes.
there is a picture of me
There
like
is.
pointing.
Write that down so we can do that. We will dig up that article and we will have it for you.
Yeah,
in the
we got to
show
do a
notes.
shout out to the reporter, Mary.
Okay.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Same. All right.
Yeah.
Neat. Okay. So you're on a cart for your first year.
I was on a cart, and I just made it work. And so, xylophones on the cart, rhythm sticks on the cart, had a little Bluetooth speaker, just made it work. And then eventually, year 2, we got ukuleles on a cart.
Oh man.
An awesome
You were
parent.
loaded
My
down.
parent. Yeah, she built me a cart.
Was
so
it a whole
cool.
class set?
35.
How did that even work?
Oh, it was just, I mean, I didn't build it. Yeah. Gosh, I gotta.
Well, they actually
Yeah.
built you a ukulele cart.
Yeah, on wheels.
And then you switched over to Rosebank.
Yes.
Did you so what did Rosebank look like when you got there?
Well,
You had a room.
in Rosebank, it just felt like they were calling out to me because they were looking for a full-time music teacher, and they had agreed to the Vh1 grant. And the principal, Neil McGaffey, he was in SDYS as a violist in high school.
Oh, wow.
And he's got a great
Wow.
story too. Like, his family was just so supportive of him and his brothers and doing SDYS. They drove from El Centro like every weekend. So basically, yeah, it was
Wow.
a big
That's
deal for them.
commitment.
Yeah, so he really wanted strings. So I heard through the grapevine that he was looking. So I was like, I wanted to be at a Title I school. So that was just a great moment.
So what do your kids look like that you work with now?
Oh yeah, I love those kids at Rosebank. So I've gotten to know them a little bit better this year, actually, from coaching basketball.
Okay.
But just like I said earlier, it's like a small-ish school, and I don't know. I'm still trying to get to know them in year 2. Like, I'm really trying to learn all their names.
How many students do you have?
Around 650.
Okay.
Yeah, it's around 650. And like they're starting to like trust that we're actually going to make real music. Like,
Okay.
they kept saying that the first year, like, when are we going to make real music? And I was like, okay.
When you can
Relatable.
keep a beat.
I'm trying to get us there.
Yeah.
I'm really trying. I think we've talked about like, because like to qualify for the VH1 grant, they're looking for Title I schools. So I think we're at around like 75% free and reduced lunch.
Okay.
That sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, we do have like a transient population. Like, there's quite a few students that will like start the year, leave, come back at some point. So that's a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think our job lends us, like what we do helps include people.
Very
Yeah.
much
And
so.
it's like, oh, you're back and not everyone knows your name. We're going to play name game today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. What are some of the big differences that you're seeing in this year?
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, in year 2, like for me personally, just like feeling a little bit more comfortable with the staff. At some point, some of my staff members were like, we're playing basketball today. And I was like, okay, I play basketball. I'll join you. So there's that kind of like camaraderie, and that led to me coaching, and I found out that there's like other VAPA teachers that are also coaching basketball, so that's been kind of interesting.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And what else? Like, as far as music, like the music that's happening, it's like today we had kindergarten. And my goodness, we were singing Button You Must Wander. I don't know if you've ever played that game.
Button You Must Wander,
Yes.
Wonder.
Yes. And
Rob Amchin.
Rob Amchin. Shout out to Rob.
Look him up
Definitely
on
watch his
YouTube if you
video.
don't know who that is. Okay, yes.
Yeah, so we're doing that. And then I was like, you know what? I've seen another Rob Amchin video. Like, you can just put a little xylophone in the middle. And like, so I had...
That's the prize for us if they guess right. They get to play the xylophone.
Yes. Okay, so we had some playing xylophone. And then we had a ukulele from... Guitars in the Classroom.
Oh,
and I was like, you know what? Someone's gonna get to play this green ukulele. And they were just like freaking out. They're like, I'm a rock star.
Oh, that's so cute.
So that's the big difference. It's like, oh, like I have my own classroom. We're sitting in a circle. We are singing. We're playing a game. And like, it's just like happening organically. It's not like, oh, okay, we're 7 minutes into class. I have to start thinking about cleaning up already.
Yeah. How long are the blocks you have?
It definitely varies. Right now, kinder's at around 30, and then first is 30, second through 6 is 50.
Oh, wow. That
Once
is
a week.
Range. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Zoe, let's get into crescendo.
Let's do it.
Give us a nice something good. Give us a good story.
Okay. So, previously I had said, I like... Rosebank was calling to me, strings. I've like wanted to play a stringed instrument my whole life, all this. But then turns out when I got to Rosebank, I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was so scared to start teaching the strings. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to do it wrong. Someone's going to destroy something, or like I'm going to teach them the wrong way. Because, like I told you I did 10 months for my master's and credential. I didn't really have any methods in that class.
Yeah.
I think strings day. It was a strings day.
Wow.
So yeah, I was really nervous and a little bit perfectionist in there too. So we had Bob Phillips, legend, U of M Hall of Famer. Come to Chula Vista and do a professional development, and that was a game changer for me.
We did. He's incredible.
Oh my goodness, I was so inspired. And he said, he had never taught a class smaller than 40, and I was like, oh, all my classes are smaller than 40. and he said something about like, you'll never teach or you'll never reach the student that's not in the chair or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm doing right now. They're not playing their instruments enough. I'm not reaching them. So that was the day before spring break. So when we came back, I was like, oh, we're all going to do this. And so 5th graders, I just was like, everyone's getting an instrument. We're doing this.
Good for you.
And they had some, some exposure in 4th grade. We'd had them out maybe like a handful of days, and I got nervous, and I was like, no, I'm not ready. So we started it up again, and I have this student, shouldn't say his name, won't say his name, but my goodness, like he had in previous classes was covering his ears. He's like, Miss Kumagai, I feel claustrophobic in here, like it's too loud, there's too much going on. And so I put him at the back, got him his violin, and I was like, my goodness, we're gonna play with a bow on the first day, or maybe it's the second day. And so we did it, just like simple ant song. If you don't know the ant song, it's
each and every ant digging in the dirt underneath the ground all the way to China. Yeah. It's the open strings.
There you go.
Gotcha.
So it's super simple, but he was playing it and he just yelled out, I love this. And I was like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness. Yeah. And then it's like that kind of moment will erase so much of the anxiety and worry and like feeling like, oh, I'm not a good enough teacher to be attempting this. It's like, oh, no.
That you got to inspire that moment of joy.
Yep, exactly.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
Oh, I love that.
Me too.
That's perfect, warm fuzzy. Zoe, is there anything else? So we've been ending with everybody with, how do you define a successful music classroom?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So what do you think? A successful program, successful classroom. What are you working towards?
Well, I mean, just I've been in some like special education classrooms this year, and I've been blown away by like the progression and like the achievability. And that to me was like, okay, like we're all able to learn. It's a matter of, did the teacher take the steps to make everyone successful? And I was like, oh, okay, I can do something like my own version of that. So when I see students feeling like, oh yeah, I just did something, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah, then you know you did your job. I like that. That's great. Thanks so much, Zoe.
Thank you.
That was a fantastic share.
Oh,
I love it. Yay. Well, so shall we move on to our spiccato? All right, friends, I have a list here.
I get a little nervous for these.
Really?
Well,
I guess it's very like either or. You must choose.
yes.
Yeah.
But
All right, when thinking of wall decorations, photography or paintings?
ooh, paintings.
Ooh.
Painting.
Photography. Okay.
Nerd.
I'm a photographer. Okay, opera or musical theater?
I guess musical theater.
Musical
Okay.
theater.
Yeah, okay, so here, I love opera, but I seriously feel like it's vegetables and musical theater is dessert, so. Sorry, opera people. Okay, dogs or cats?
I love cats, but I'm allergic to them.
Oh, that's a sad story.
Yeah, it's irony upon irony.
Okay.
Cats.
Cats, dogs. All
If I
right.
can actually interject one, because the opera one actually inspired me.
Yeah.
Aria or art song?
Art song.
Art song.
Art song.
All right.
The right answer.
Boom cats, am I
Boom
right?
cats.
Boom cats. That's John's catchphrase. All right, TV or movies?
TV. You can do more with it.
TV.
Okay, TV. Yeah,
In
I'd say
theory.
that. If we're Netflix and chilling, TV series all the way. It's Sunday morning.
Yep.
Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Pancakes.
Waffles. I like all the crannies for the syrup.
I like the density. Or rather, like the texture, should I say? Texture.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we discussed that in length. Okay, last one. Superpowers, invisibility or flight?
I would choose invisibility back in my day, but I think now that I'm a big boy, I think flight.
You think you choose flight, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fly
Yeah.
rhymes with Kumagai.
Hey.
Oh.
I would say flight because I would love to travel anywhere I want for free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save on gas.
Yeah.
Plane tickets, the whole thing. All right. Well, that was really helpful. Zoe has chosen a song, and we have another shout out to give here because this song is beloved by another friend of ours. You want to introduce this song?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ardith Collins.
Hey, girl. Round of the week.
Okay, so we are singing Poor Bird.
Oh, poor bird.
All right.
Right.
Where were we in our tone center?
Landed in the same spot. I'm impressed.
There. Okay. Ready?
Poor bird, take thy flight high above the sorrows of this sad night.
Poor bird, take thy flight high above the sorrows of this sad night. High above the sorrows of this sad night. High above the sorrows of this sad night.
All right. Where can we find us, friends, on the interwebs? Zoe?
Ooh, I'm at Ms. Kumagai on Twitter.
Ms. Kumagai on Twitter.
That's right.
John?
You can find me on the Twitterverse at Mr. Seligman. That's MrSeligman.
And you can find me at www.crystalpridmore.com or on the Twitters at FinnyVappa. Thanks for listening, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Peace.
The Chaotic Harmony podcast is a joint project between Crystal Pridmore, Jonathan Seligman, Zoe Kumagai, and Marc Keehmer. You can find us online at chaoticharmonyclassroom.com. You can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com and let us know what you think. Give us feedback about what you would like to hear in future episodes. We're on all the socials. Find us on facebook.com/chaoticharmonyclassroom. You can find us on Twitter at @CHClassroom, Instagram at Chaotic Harmony Classroom, and you can even find our episodes on YouTube. Chaotic Harmony is the name of our channel. Special thanks to Brian Pridmore for his help with production and equipment. www.pridmoria.com.